A year ago on Bred to Win, we looked at the phenomenal success that is Akau racing, and the Group 1 winners have continued to flow in the last 12 months. Added to that, the amazing story of the recovery of Ginger Nuts after being injured before the Emirates Stakes at Flemington during Melbourne Cup week, and it's been a big year for Akau.
Good morning and welcome to day 3.
800. And Embellish won the Guineas.
When I bought my stable in the mid-1980s, I wanted to train horses that I could be truly proud of. So we come and buy the horses that we want to train, then we take them home to Akau stud, and then we find owners for them.
It's very hard to find owners, but you get so many people wanting to be a part of Akau.
When we first started, we found it incredibly difficult to sell the horses. Some years I wasn't successful and had to race quite a number myself, but really in the last 15 years we've just found it easier and easier, and the phone just doesn't stop ringing nowadays. And we have a lot of Australians that race horses in our stable. Last season we won races in Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane, and of course it's a lot cheaper to have your horse trained in New Zealand, and some people like the thought of their colt or filly or gelding going out into a nice grass paddock each day, and it just works really well for us.
Well, you had a fabulous Karaka Millions night. I mean, that's when all the Australians are here. People are here and seeing the results from often the year before or 2 years before. You know, Embellish was unlucky not to win, but Melody Bell coming back from winning the Karaka Millions and winning, of course, the opening race, and then Alhassa and Advantage, what a fabulous filly, unbeaten. Tell me what that means to you. It's not just about winning, is it? It's a whole, 2 years worth of work, 3 years worth of work, isn't it?
When we come to the sale, we just come so well prepared. We just spend months and months of doing nothing but homework, inspecting the horses, going through the pedigrees, analysing genetic nicks, and it just it is a lot of time, but it's great to come to the sales and know that you've done everything. And we've got such a big clientele now that we just have to buy a lot of horses to sustain that.
800. 800 is it? I've got 800,000 now. That's the way to start them, nice and strong like that. All done now. I picture 50. 900. 900,000. Akau. Well done. Well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Caroline.
Tell me, what does that mean to you to get that filly, given you know the half-sister so well?
Well, I thought that she was probably the most beautiful filly I'd seen here for 10 years. Mm-hmm. We know the family. I've been watching this family for 40 years, ever since I've been in racing. It's the famous Bell family, and I think she'll be back at the Karaka Million to try and win it with it.
Indeed, and the tactics. I think you just floored everybody. 800,000 first bid.
Yeah, I haven't done that for a long, long time, but I knew there was a lot of interest in the filly. I wanted to buy it for 800,000, and I thought, on these really good horses, you've got to do things a little bit differently, so that's what I did. I normally don't bid till a colt or filly is on the market, but I thought I'd do something a little bit out left field on this not a single doubt filly. So I opened the bidding at 800. I was prepared to go to $1 million, and I was thrilled to buy for 900 because, gee, she's a beautiful filly.
And not a single doubt too. So, you mix it up, the stallions that these yearlings are by, for what you want in your stable.
Yeah, well, we're buying horses. We want to win it, the Karaka Million 3 years in a row now, and we've had terrific results in the 3-year-old $1 million race in the last 10 years, and it's just a great night to be part of, and the stake money's going up in New Zealand, so I think it's a really good time for people to invest in this really exciting bloodstock industry.
And of course, Karen is just absolutely such a huge part of the team. We know the great work she does on trackside New Zealand and covering the sale and race days and so forth. But just tell me, you know, the input that Karen has into the whole operation.
Oh, she's just amazing. She's easily the hardest working person I've ever met. It's just quite incredible the work that she can get through, and people love dealing with her. She's very popular with our owners, and you know, last night, for example, she was still replying to emails at 2:30 this morning, and she was out of bed at 6 o'clock to host the trackside program. So she's an amazing person. I'm just so lucky to have her.
And Julia Rose is fabulous too, with all the social media work and so forth.
Yeah, it's a real family affair. We have our children involved, and they love it. They find the racing exciting, and I think to have 5 runners out of 14 in the 2-year-old race on Saturday night shows that what we're doing is actually working, because it's all very well putting your hand up and buying these horses, but they've actually got to perform down the track. So when we get these sort of results, it's a big thrill, and it's a thrill really hard to describe.
So they changed it up a fraction because he was supposed.
Well, Karen, you know, we both have done this together, the hosting of these sales, but tell me what it's like for you when you're seeing David bidding on these fabulous horses. You know the work that's gone in to buy them for Te Akau.
Well, I do actually, Caroline. It's a great question, because so many of us in racing have to wear many hats, and the first thing, as you'll be very well aware, it's making sure that the segregation of those hats is there firstly and foremostly. So I work here during sales time for the New Zealand Racing Board as a co-presenter of the sales, and my big joke is that I come here to work and he comes here to spend, but I actually don't earn as much as he spends, obviously.
No, exactly right. But there's so much passion behind it, and so much work, isn't there?
There is. I mean, you know, we're like ships in the night, probably for the last 2 or 3 months, because it's not just about starting his yearling inspections in December and going around the country, but it's actually even prior to that, the minute the catalogue's out, you know, that's the thing that's sitting beside the bed, it's you know, beside the television's not on unless it's on trackside, and it's just the pedigree research and going back and revisiting and visiting, and you know, you have to have a really strong relationship, because everything else in life goes on hold, because what happens at these sales, what David does at these sales, makes or breaks the success of Te Akau racing, you know, in the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. So this is crucial. This is our shopping time, and it's a time that will make sure that those Group 1 winners keep coming. Yeah,
well, race day is kind of a shop front as well, obviously, and you must have a great rapport with owners. I'm sure they'd come back and race with you again, because tell me about your work within Te Akau and dealing with the owners, because there's so much detail, isn't there, in owning even a single racehorse?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, as we always say, I mean, people need in life what? You know, they need clothes, they need a home, they might need a new car or a new kitchen, but they actually don't necessarily need to share in a horse. So, you know, it is an optional item in your life. So part of being able to share that passion is being able to communicate with people that are already deeply involved, or people that are completely new to the industry, the excitement and the thrill and the process of what's involved. And we like to think that our excitement is communicated. You know, we I particularly wear my heart on my sleeve a lot. I'm very passionate. I make a complete idiot of myself at the races. You know, I yahoo and I scream and I yell. But you're right, there's a lot of work behind the scenes, because when people invest with you, they trust you, and it doesn't matter how little or how much they're investing, they're entrusting you with that to deliver the very best result and experience that you possibly can.
And your whole family, I mean, looking at when you have a win, when you have these big days, I mean, Karaka Million Night was absolutely fantastic. What are some of the feelings? Can you put that in words?
I tend to want to cry. Yeah. I want to cry because I know how much effort has gone in, and I mean, this sounds very cliche, but it's not. You know, I know the team, you know, Steve and Jamie, and we've got world-class horsemen and women at Matamata, and also in our Singapore stable, of course, that just live, eat and breathe it. I mean, they get up early, it can be the worst weather on the planet. New Zealand winters are pretty dour, and they know each of these horses as the individuals they are, and you just watch the joy in their faces. I mean, you know, Tegan, our apprentice, I mean, she was looking after Avantage for the Karaka Million. Of course, you know, when the horse won, you just watched Tegan jumping up and down, screaming, and she said, I told everybody that it was my filly that was going to win. And of course, we had 5 representatives, so everyone was very competitive staff-wise. But they're a great crew, and I just have so much admiration for them, honestly, Caroline. They're just wonderful people who deeply care about what they do. And you know, it's fairy tale stuff. I mean, you have the fairy tales, but as you well know, you also have the trauma. I mean, a prime example was last November. We went from the thrill and the ecstasy of winning a Group 1, the New Zealand 2000 Guineas for the 6th time with Embellish, which was the highest price Savabeel colt ever until the Katie Lee, and that was just wonderful because his future at stud was secured. We'd drawn a ballot. David stayed in New Zealand, I went to Melbourne, and there I'm going to get emotional. You know, and standing at Flemington, you know, thinking that Ginger Nuts might die because they took him away in the horse ambulance, and we thought we might lose that precious horse. So the fairy tales are there, and you have to, yeah, you really in racing, as you well know, you have to ride the good with the bad, and just know that the good always outweighs, you know, outweighs the challenges.
Yeah. But hasn't it been fabulous? And particularly in Australia, you expected in New Zealand, the following Ginger Nuts has had, and the people willing him to get through.
I know, seriously, we've got dozens and dozens of Get Well cards, the abundance from Australia, children's pictures, we've had emails, you know, we put regular Twitter updates out there about what's happening with Jerry, as he's known, and it's quite remarkable. If there hasn't been an update for a couple of weeks, all of these Twitter direct messages are coming. How's Jerry? Where's Jerry? This lovely woman in New South Wales said, I'm a bar manager, and you know, my patrons were sitting in this pub in New South Wales watching what happened, and we always want to know how he is. And I don't know, he's just a horse that's captured the imagination of people, but that's what can happen in racing. And you know, at Te Akau, I suppose what we love doing, and David's out there buying, he's the horse expert, but I like to think that I'm the heart expert, and it's about just sharing that passion with people and making them feel that they're part of something special.